Hello, everyone from Groovy Plants Ranch. Hello, everyone from Groovy Plants Ranch here in Ohio, USA. If you've ever been to the Cultivate show in Columbus, we are located about 25 minutes north of the city. My name is Jared Hughes. I started Groovy Plants Ranch actually 19 years ago. This is our ninth year here in Marengo, where we're located. And we run a specialty, you could call it like a specialty garden center. We're a grower as well. But what we really focus on is customer experience and doing garden retail a little bit different. And I think that's why I was asked to present today, is to kind of share with you some of the interesting things that we do, the approach that we take. Just prior to this live stream, I was talking with Ortal about what my goals or what the dream is here at Groovy Plants Ranch. And I expressed to her that my goal with this business, with my involvement in horticulture, is to inspire people to grow plants through my passion for plants. So I'm a very passionate individual. I have a lot going on, and I'm excited to share it with you. But it's not to build some garden center empire or produce more plants. It really is about impacting people every single day. I have two girls. We live here on, my wife Liz and I live here on the property. And it'd be easy for me to think, oh, I hope my kids take over the business someday. That's not really the goal. The goal really is, what are we doing today? What are we doing today to make people happy, inspire them, create memories, and ultimately really just promote the lifestyle of gardening? Because to think that people could go through their whole lives without having the connection to plants, a connection to plants and to growing things, in my opinion, is a very sad thing. So that's the goal for Groovy Plants Ranch, is to inspire people to grow things because it's healthy and it's fulfilling. So this morning I want to take you on just a quick walking tour of the ranch. It is raining today here in Ohio. It's also about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. We are moving into winter, so the tables are empty outside. It's not the prettiest day. I just have to encourage you to use your mind's eye and think about how beautiful this place is when it's all full of flowers. A little bit about what we do. Again, garden retail. We grow almost all of our perennials. So perennials are our big one. Hundreds of thousands of perennials, probably 400 plus varieties. And we do bring in our annuals. Primarily, we're partnered with Fort Myers & Sons Greenhouse. They produce our annuals for us, and then we do grow our own herbs and veggies as well. And we do propagation on succulents and some houseplants. We have a big houseplant following, and yeah, we have a lot of irons in the fire. We also have some intellectual properties. We do some plant breeding. Behind me, right there, you can see canary wings begonia, which is actually that's, I believe, Ball licenses Danziger to produce those cuttings for us. So we're happy to have Danziger as a partner on that plant as well. So that's begonia canary wings, and I'll show you that on our way back through. So I could talk about my own business forever, but how about I just show you it? I'll go ahead and flip the camera and we'll get walking. Give me just a second here. Okay, I'm going to take this off of the cradle. All right. So what you see here is what we call the potter's saloon. And this is a potting area. Here we have a potting area for kids where you can pick out a pot, you pick out your house plant or whatever it is. You can actually pot it up for free here. This is a form of hospitality on our part to help generate, create those memories here at the ranch. And you can tell that it's fall and going into winter. So some nice perennials, but they are beginning to go dormant, which is normal. And these are actually summer produced plants, so they will be sold next year. This is an old historic schoolhouse, and while I'm not going to take you in here, this is our gift shop. So we have a lot of Groovy merch. Actually, I'll just run you in quick. I was told we're not in a great big hurry. You can see this is what the landscape looks like in Ohio right about now. We're in for 5-6 months of dreary days. So this is an old school dating back to 1869. And in here we have a lot of groovy merchandise. So we do merchandise our own brand. A lot of fun, interesting, unique shirts. And that's just a quick overview. I won't take you through the whole thing, but that is one thing we're constantly focusing on because people love Groovy Plants Ranch. We want to make sure they have takeaways or souvenirs. It's very much rural out here, sort of farm-like, a lot of gravel and Quonset huts. This isn't a second or third generation company. It's still a first generation company. So we are building and growing it naturally. There's our team getting ready for their day. You guys want to give everybody internationally a wave? They're a wonderful team of people, a lot of horticulture professionals. Because it's a fun place to work with a wonderful following, we have this great ability to attract great talent. And here we are in our houseplant greenhouses. As I mentioned, we do a lot of houseplants. I would love to replace these Quonset huts someday, hopefully sooner than later. But for now, we're making the best of it. It's so overcast today that we have the lights on in the greenhouse. And one mistake I often make with these live streams is moving too fast. But you can see we go pretty deep and wide into the unique plant selection. People know we have these plants, and as a result, they drive the half hour to come here. Some drive much, much further. We do attract from Cleveland, Pennsylvania. Sometimes we'll get Chicago, even Wisconsin, which is a very long drive. So it's not unusual. If you read our reviews, you'll see people coming from hours and hours away. And I think a lot of that has to do with the presentation, but then also the way that we communicate about plants. We have a very strong social media following. That did not happen overnight. Just a really quick feature, our signage. Our team here does a great job with signs. And we try to give a lot of information where it matters. But social media, it didn't happen overnight. Liz and I are getting ready to celebrate our 10th anniversary, and we have been working at social media the whole time that we've been together. And I think we're up to about almost 150,000 followers on Facebook. Instagram is not as high, and then of course there are all the other platforms, and we're actively working all the time on being present on all those platforms because that's how we communicate our love for plants. That's where people are, so that's where we'll meet them. Here's an interesting part of the business. This is a rock shop. This is about a year and a half old now, and we sell a number of interesting fossils and gemstones, a little bit of jewelry, but it's mostly focused on the appreciation for the natural world. So I had this aha moment a while ago that people who like flowers and plants probably like rocks as well. And that intuition proved to be true. It's a perfect fit for Groovy Plants Ranch to have a very groovy rock shop right in it. We're constantly improving and updating. This is our indoor checkout during the cold season, which is coming up. So very soon we'll move inside. We kind of pivot like this. We don't have a standard indoor checkout or outdoor. We have an outdoor checkout for the warm season and an indoor checkout for the cold season. See a lot of air plants. One fun thing, I ran the numbers a few days ago. This table generates 10% of all of the revenue of houseplants. And you can see the houseplant selection is pretty extensive. So we are today putting in a much larger air plant section. Here are succulents and cacti. This is actually how I started the company. Was in college. I was working full-time at a garden center, and going to school, um, and I wanted to grow things. I had got the, I'd gotten the bug. I wanted to grow things, but the problem was I was so busy growing typical bedding crops. Were not the level of care that they would require was just too high. So I figured out that I could take cuttings of succulents. Here is a potting bar made out of an old GTO. We call it the Podiac potting bar. Again, you can use it for free. Anyway, I figured out you could propagate succulents and really walk away from them for weeks. And when you came back, they'd be rooted. So I was able to grow an economically impactful crop for me with very little input of my own. So I started propagating succulents and then selling them at markets. Ultimately, locally, I became a wholesale distributor for succulents, selling to all of the major garden centers in our area. And that allowed me to build. And after 10 years of working at Fort Meyer and Sons Greenhouse in Delaware with Mark and Matt Fort Meyer, I went out on my own, and that's how we find ourselves here 9 years later. I am overtly critical of everything we do here. All I want to do is improve like these fabric floors here, but I'm told it's okay. I'm told it's pretty nuts. A lot of pottery here, so multiple potting stations to make it easy and fun to pot up those plants. I'm going to mosey back out of the greenhouse now. I'm not going to take you through every aisle, but many thousands of plants. We're actually processing an order now. It is getting to be the holiday season here, so we are doing poinsettias. Now, we do some of those things a little bit differently. This is actually the first year that we will not carry poinsettias in store. You might think that's crazy, but the truth is the value in poinsettias is so low compared to so many of these other items, we decided to shift to a pre-order only model for the poinsettias. So we sold a lot of poinsettias through our through our website, through our digital presence, and people will come pick them up. And as a result, we won't have any waste associated with the poinsettia market, which is so hard to predict. There's so little return on poinsettias. So this way, we get the most profitability out of them as possible. We have no loss. And when people come in, hopefully, they purchase more plants. Here's our outdoor checkout. Basically, the way this works is we have these kiosks, and they go all the way to the end of the building during the peak season for a total of 16 cash registers. We call it turbo checkout because you can expect to get checked out very quickly when you come to Groovy Plants Ranch. Now, here are our empty tables. They go way, way back, and we'll do a quick loop here. This is our event space. So just a simple event space where we can host meetings, workshops. And there is Canary Wings, still looking bright after multiple frosts. And its day is coming soon, but what a great plant. See, we do a lot of this fun metal art, getting ready to put our bananas to bed. They'll go dormant for the season. So ceramic mushrooms, there's my dog, and a lot of this metal art. This is our break room and offices. Used to be my house. We were able to purchase an adjacent property, and we moved. We do have a gem mine, so great for kids. We sell these gem bags. You can go mining here. It's a great way to create memories. And there's Foxy. She's on the move. Okay, it wouldn't be groovy if we didn't have some weird and unusual things. That's a crashed UFO. Photo opportunity. And we have the selfie station right here so you can get your photo with the UFO. And just to see how quirky and eclectic I am, Take you over here. We are preparing for a winter gift market. Um, so we've moved a bunch of our tables out of the way, but that is a crashed airplane. It is. And again, a lot of photo opportunities. Try to make it fun. Also like to garden around the different, we call them the relics at the ranch. So it's just an odd, unusual way to garden and retail. I'm now taking you back to our production range. These are decluit greenhouses primarily. We have a storage facility back there. It's our warehouse and processing area. And then up through here is our decluit range. And we won't spend much time in here, but I'll just show you how this works. So we're going to do our gift market in here, 20 vendors this coming weekend, which is a great draw. And these are the houseplants we're getting ready to process and put out into the store today. It is early morning here and we haven't even opened yet. So the team is just rolling in and getting to work. And one thing we have going that's going live today is actually a pre-order for these amazing variegated monsteras. This is White Monster, super sought after, and then also some incredible albos. This should generate quite a bit of revenue today through our online store. And then they'll have to come pick them up. So we're eyeballing these for Christmas gifts. Those 2 racks alone are several $1,000s. Some really, really nice plants. And to end things off here, I'm going to quick run you into a building I've been working on for about a year now. It is a conservatory, more or less. And what it is it houses both art collection and the collection of a friend of mine. His name is Bill Hendricks, and he is in his 80s now. He has been collecting for 74 years-ish, and he has decided to bequeath his entire cactus and succulent collection to the ranch. I've known him for years, and he's a wonderful friend, and his plant collection is absolutely unbelievable. Shut the fans off 1 second. So I'll take you on a quick walking tour of this building, which the public does not get to see. And you can see some really amazing things. So Groovy is, the word groovy is a kind of a retired pop culture buzzword from the late 1960s. But what it means is unique, unusual, cool. And I like to think our plant selection mirrors that word. For me, groovy plants are any plants that are inspiring or interesting or unusual. So these cactus, many of these date back to 1985 or earlier. This is a combination of both my collection and Bill's collection. So this will be a space where I will start doing video content on collector gardens and what it means to collect. And I think there's a lot of good content here. I'll end here by showing you our aloe breeding project. I won't get too close, of course, but just to give you an idea of the scope. So we do have intellectual property. We have plants that, many of these plants are only here. A lot of these are unique individuals. This euphorbia wall alone is pretty spectacular. Now you're seeing a candid look. We are still finishing this greenhouse. We've only been in here about 3 weeks. Here we're doing some hybridizing with this agave, this Mediana Joe Oak. And then finally, well, really quick, this aloe tree is 74 years old. And very quickly, the aloe breeding project goes all the way down, and all of these are unique individuals to Groovy Plants Ranch. Well, I think I've gone over the preferred estimated time. Thank you for walking with me and letting me share a little bit of Groovy Plants Ranch with you. If only it had been May or June, it would be a very different experience. I hope you're inspired by something, even just a little bit. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Hopefully, we'll see you in Columbus.